Welcome to CIO TV. In this episode, we will discuss the CIO Tech Playbook for 2023. Lenovo and AMD launched a new info brief to highlight the opportunities, challenges, and considerations for CIOs in today's data-driven economy. This is to help them make the right IT investments. The IDC paper commissioned by Lenovo and AMD reveals that the rapid digital transformation in APAC, organizations are expected to generate as much as 43% of the revenue from digitally connected products and services. And this number is expected to reach by 2027. And the number stands a tad bit higher for Indian organizations at 49%. Therefore, the CIO Technology Playbook is a study of 900 CIOs and IT decision makers in Asia Pacific. And the results observed show concerns among CIOs around macroeconomic factors affecting business growth in 2023 and early 2024. For CIOs, especially in India, high energy prices, high inflation, and growing geopolitical tensions are the key challenge areas. To talk more and throw light about the concerns and opportunities, we have with us Mr. Amit Luthra, who is the Managing Director of India, Lenovo ISG. Welcome, Amit. Welcome on board for the conversation.
Hey, thank you very much, Vaishnavi, for having me here.
Amit, let's begin with the question of what are the top business priorities for CIOs and IT decision makers in Asia and India for 2023?
So actually, let me just take a step back and give you this right. When we did this survey, we went and did this survey across the breadth and depth of the organizations, irrespective of the size and the number of employees they have, irrespective of, and it gives a nice perspective of having insights from customers across verticals, not just a particular vertical. So when we actually got back and spoke about this, we found out three things, right? Three things which were on CIO's priorities was definitely higher customer experience and satisfaction. How do they build that high customer experience and satisfaction? The second thing was employee productivity and improvement. How do they go back and do employee productivity and improvement? And the third thing being increased business agility and responsiveness. While we got out three top priorities, but it was also worth to note the three top CIO concerns, right? Especially in India, it was a little varied from the response that you see in AP. One, definitely, how do they address to the high inflation prices, high energy prices, and most importantly, how do they actually go back and cater to the growing trade protectionism that is happening across countries, across geopolitical scenarios?
Understood. So these are the concerns of Indian CIOs, especially the growing political tensions and high inflation, high energy prices. Any particular reasons for Asia CIOs in general?
So I would say that, look, the Asia is a big market, right? And the maturity of adoption of technology and it is different across different countries, and it's completely different on different data sovereignty rules and all. But overall, Asia Pacific, if you see top CIOs concern, is high inflation, high energy prices, and escalating raw material prices. So it's more or less in line with what the CIOs in India are seeing, completely not much different from what you see in the APAC.
Okay. So mostly the supply chain concerns are still relevant and are bothering the CIOs across Asia.
Yeah, so you can actually look at what they used to buy 3-4 years back. The pandemic and many things have actually surged inflation, right? The material incoming, semiconductor, all these have become so expensive that they are actually shelling out more money for something that they used to buy at much lesser price 3 to 4 years back, and then adding to it foreign exchange has played a big role.
And that's where the inflation worry also comes in for them.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Does this impact the business priorities? Is it going to change in the late 2023 and for 2024? Do you think the CIOs have gone around and reworked their board for priorities?
I don't think so. Actually, if you go back and read this report, you would have seen that by 2027, 49% of revenue which CIOs are actually expecting is going to come from digital, right? And when you ask them what are their top digital infrastructure investment areas, it is high performance computing platforms for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Second is to build cyber resiliency framework, right, to address any ransomware and malware attacks. And third is to unify their management and bring down their operation cost. So it's more or less in line with any digital infrastructure adoption that you are seeing. But one thing which has really come out very well is that most of the CIOs are actually looking in for cloud repatriation, right? So that's one thing. They are seeing how do they balance their costs. And specifically in India, if you actually would have gone through the report, 78% of the CIOs did mention that they are actively working towards repatriating their workloads from public cloud to private cloud. So hybrid cloud is definitely the reality.
Hybrid cloud is definitely the reality. And would you like to throw some light on investment priorities concerning AI?
So investment priorities concerning AI, right? It is definitely uh, IT operations, right? Today, what is that AI and ML is wanting to do? It is definitely wanting to do improve the customers, improve most of the organizations to create an cutting edge differentiation from their competitors in the market. So there are a lot of varied use cases of artificial intelligence and machine learning. But with this powerful tool comes a lot of complication as well, right? So a lot of investments when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning are happening in three major areas. First is simplifying IT operations. The second is building the security envelope. It is very important to protect one from and have a resilient framework from ransomware and everything, right? So build a robust security framework. And third is a lot of spend is happening into R&D and engineering, because if you don't strengthen it, you will not be able to see the desired results which are there. So these are the top three investment areas when it comes to artificial intelligence, machine learning, high performance computing kind of scenario.
Understood, Amit. So we spoke about concerns, we spoke about investment priorities. What spending imperatives should IT leaders consider when it comes to transforming their digital infrastructure? Because 2027, the need of the hour is digital infrastructure, right?
Yeah, so I would say that look at it, right? Today, the role of CIO is definitely evolving, right? What it used to be as an IT operator is definitely has become today a business strategist. CIOs today have a seat in the board, and they are being acknowledged by the other functions that they can actually help the organization create an differentiation and be ahead from their competitors in the market. This is this only happens in organizations that have been very successful in doing it. Uh, One thing that has been very common is their alignment with the business priorities. So wherever you see IT actually aligns with business priorities, the CIOs have done wonder. That IT has done wonders for them. But this role of from IT operator to business strategist, and most importantly, in the past decade, the CIO within the IT itself, a lot of different CXOs have come, right? You see a CIO, you see a CTO today, you see a CISO today, you see a chief digital officer today. So varied roles have coming in, and definitely this digital imperative is going to bring and broaden the scope of this complete aspect.
Understood. So any specific spending imperatives that they should focus on in India, or any particular region you want to focus?
So I would actually stick to giving commentary on India, and I'll say one thing which we have seen, right, that the usage of edge computing is increasing. So in fact, one of the questions that we asked was, how do they see as edge? 97% of them responded that they will use edge computing. So, and why is this for, right? Because if they need to create an omni experience, if they need to create a better customer experience, they need to do real-time customer analytics. And that cannot be possible without they actually deploying robust edge solutions. Second thing is to also help them to do asset tracking, geofence management, to be basically streamlining a lot of process operations which are happening. So edge is actually going and doing this. And the third important aspect is to do remote diagnostics, predictive analytics, and equipment managing. So usage of edge computing is definitely going to rise. There is a lot of interest that we are seeing. There are a lot of early wins that we are seeing on edge. And with 5G around the corner and private 5G around the corner specifically, this is going to be the next big revolution that the industry will go through in next few years.
Understood. Now, when it comes to digital agenda, how can business and IT align to come up with a strategy?
Now, this is very important, right? So if you go back and see, right, digital transformation is in practice over 80 years. And I mean it, right? It involved usage of basic computer technologies to improve organizations' performance. Now this has evolved, right? Today, and then it has evolved to a stage wherein today digital transformation refers to what companies must do to compete in an environment where the way people work, the way businesses are done, or the way digital technologies are being adopted, right? And this is definitely augmented by the usage of cloud, mobility, social media, analytics, and also in torrent emergent technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, robotic process transformation. So, lot of, or digital twins for that matter, lot of these immersive and emerging technologies are making digital transformation real, right? But one needs to understand, what do we want to do, right? What do we want to do with a digital twin? That is something which an business and an IT needs to do in workshop and come out with. What do they want to do with augmented and virtual reality? Is it simplifying or giving a better customer experience? Is it better giving better employee experience? Is it actually removing mundane tasks in their existing manufacturing to make them more efficient and bring cost advantage to them? What is the end objective of using and technology or using a digital I would say element? If both businesses and IT are aligned, that's when the projects become very successful. So they will have to collectively come out and charter this framework that what they want to achieve it.
Got it. So you spoke about how CIOs are now, CIOs have a CIO plus role, and they are no more just a IT function. They're also enablers, business enablers, so strategic advisors. How can they use their expertise and experience to push or to have a seat at the leadership table? And how will digital transformation be a catalyst for the same?
So CIOs definitely in most organizations already have a seat at the board or the table, right? And in those organizations where they do have, one thing is very clear: business and IT is completely aligned to meet an end customer goal, right? So organizations where still that discussion is happening, I think it is important that they understand how better technology can add that value to them, how technology can become an pivotal role in shaping their strategical, tactical, and operation decisions that they want to take for the organization. And that is where the CIO can really help, right? Is he actually helping them to enable to take a strategic decision, a tactical decision, or an operational decision? So that's where a lot of things can be done to in together.
Understood. Amit, we covered concerns and investment priorities, and you also spoke about aligning business and IT for a successful digital agenda and for CIOs to now take a seat at the leadership table and become CIO plus. Is there anything that I might have missed out on asking and you want to talk about?
And definitely one thing, right? When organizations are doing repatriation, are actually using new age emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital twins, edge computing, the way IT is consumed is also getting changed. So things that are very close and in a very advanced stage is a lot of organizations today are using or wanting and consumption model which is as a service, right? And why are they doing so? They are actually doing so to reduce their IT operation cost. They are doing that because the predictivity or the predictability of the future data growth is very uncertain. We have seen organizations that said this is enough for me in 5 years and ordering an upgrade in 6 months. And we have seen organizations that were very I think overgone and did the sizing and have underutilized assets, right? So it's very important that they actually get the right resource optimization and utilization of IT infrastructure, because something that can make digital real is IT modernization and IT infrastructure. So on that aspect, I see as a service picking up and taking greater prominence in the country today with most of the CX that we meet.
Okay. Thank you, Amit. Thank you for throwing light on this tech playbook and the priorities and concern areas for CIOs in Asia and specifically in India for 2023 and the digital agenda that is on everyone's list till 2027. Thank you for taking time out and thank you for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, and thank you for having me here. Thanks.